Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in. Let's just get right into some paranormal encounter stories from Reddit. This story is called Newly Built Home in Ireland, but we've had a few experiences by Big Laddie Donglegs. My wife and I moved into a newly built house in an estate in the west of Ireland 5 years ago. It's a very bright, modern home and has a good overall energy. However, very early on, I got a creeped out feeling when putting things in the closet/storage in the attic. The attic is fully converted into a bedroom with a full bathroom, and it was done at the time of build. Proper stairs, dormer window, etc. It's not dark. The closet is right on the attic landing, so it's right in the center column of the house. Where I used to sit in my office, the closet was over my right shoulder, and I used to feel something touch my hair on that side. I moved my desk to the opposite side of the room, and now it happens over my left shoulder, where the closet is. No windows that side of the room, no heaters. I've also heard talking, but it's like three conversations all layered on top of each other at once. It's only for a second or two, so it's just whispered gibberish. The second I turn around, it stops. I tried ignoring it until my wife said she felt like someone was watching her at night from our closet, which is right below the closet in the attic. She said she can't fall asleep with her back to it either. Another night, I was going to bed. I usually stay up later than my wife because I work from home, and I noticed a shadow, or more like an absence of light, on the landing. I actually walked past it, and when I turned around to take another look, it stood up and swooped towards me and went up over me. It made me take a step back in reflex to it. At this point, my wife and I had compared our experiences, and when I told her, she was creeped out and told me she forgot that one night she woke up and something was at the foot of the bed, and when she sat up, it did the same, swooped towards and upwards and disappeared. There's been other things too. We've heard the sound of our bedroom shutters opening when we're downstairs. I go to investigate and they're closed, nothing out of place. Our clothes get three tiny holes in the same place that we can't explain. My wife gets unexplained bruises on her legs. A few nights ago, I saw it again, just a ball in the corner, but only visible when I didn't look directly at it. Hard to explain. It used to be concentrated in the center column of the house, but now it's on my side of the room, which has never happened before. We're reluctant to do anything to get rid of it in case it gets worse. Should we? It's not an evil feeling, but it is weird. Well, I don't know about you guys, but that one got me a little bit creeped out. The way that they hadn't discussed it before, and when they did talk about it, they were both experiencing a similar creepy thing. Not to mention all the other scary moments that were happening. So, a little creepy. All right, let's move on to the next one. Something is pretending to be my cat. Submitted by Disaster Piece. I love your name. I am currently in bed right now. I was hearing these meows, but they weren't any of my cat's meows. It sounded extremely off, like a person or thing trying to imitate a cat. I know it isn't any of my two cats because I have both of them next to me right now. Every time I hear meows in the hallway, I get an extremely eerie vibe, like something horrible is about to happen. I have no clue what the hell is in the hallway, as I am too scared to check it out. I have always heard these things, trying to replicate voices of my loved ones, but never animals. I'm terrified, and I don't know what to do. Well, Disaster Piece, if you ask me, I think you should get the heck out of there and never look back. That sounds horrifying. I hope everything works out for you and nothing bad happens. Oof. The next one is a comment on that post by Jal Casatori. I have had a common experience. I was spending a weekend in our countryside cabin with just my dog. He is a German Shepherd and always follows me. First, I heard it when I was in the sauna one late evening. My dog was outside, waiting in the small dressing room/porch area. The room has a door outside that holds a view straight to the woods, and I always close it so that my dog won't wander off if he smells an animal or something. At first, I heard sounds outside, kind of like an animal walking, and then small barks and sniffs. Very soon, my dog started going crazy, barking, and I got into the dressing room. The door was open into the night, and my dog was still inside the room barking into the woods. It scared the shit out of me, but eventually I just thought it was a small wolf or something, and that probably I didn't close the door properly. But then I heard it again at night. It woke me up, sounding even more off. I could see my dog on the floor, already listening. It was exactly like a human imitating a dog, even panting, disturbing as hell. I jumped up to pull all the lights on and found the courage in me to scream, "I know what you are! Stay the F away! You're not welcome here!" And stayed up all night, but I didn't hear it again. Safe to say, I will never go there without a group of people again. Yeesh. And the next comment comes from Sagan Oren Malmo. And this person says, "Sounded like a human panting like a dog. I've got shivers. I'd never sleep again." And I'm on the same page. That was terrifying. And our last submission of the day is called Strange Forest and was submitted by Riken Joran. Okay, so we will go over one of my first encounters with the paranormal. Out in the countryside of Texas, my grandparents owned an 8-acre lot backed up to a heavily wooded area, a creek bed running along the back fence. One summer's eve, around my 8th birthday, my entire family had gathered for a cookout. Me and my cousin Max were always running around together, and that day was no different. I decided to head down to the creek bed into the woods as I heard what sounded like a whisper beckoning me to follow deeper in. My cousin happily followed behind me as we walked over a fallen fence line. My cousin remembers vividly seeing a woman appear in front of me as I stepped over the last of the fencing. I continued walking, obliviously, as my cousin attempted to rush and follow me. However, he remembers the fencing seemingly reaching up and wrapping his ankle, causing him to fall into the mud. He says that I continued walking, despite him yelling for me to help him. He took a second to look at his torn up ankle with barbed wire wrapped around it. Upon looking up, he said I was nowhere to be seen, and when my older brother came down the creek, following his screams, he and my cousins claimed my footprints in the creek bed stopped just a few feet beyond the spot Max had seen me last. My entire family is adamant that I was gone for 4 hours. They had police scour the woods and dogs try to track, but nothing went beyond the last footsteps I left in the mud. Upon my return, they were all terrified and worried that something had happened, but I didn't have a scratch on me. What I remember of the events after stepping over the fencing is hearing a distant song being sung by some soft, feminine voice, the smell of wild berries and sweets, and the feeling of happiness increasing with every step. From my perspective, I found a small clearing and relaxed eating wild berries, playing with some small animals I could say were weird looking cats, and then standing back up after what felt like a few moments. I looked around and saw movement of what seemed like dozens of people hiding behind the trees. I looked around slowly, regaining senses, wondering where my cousin went. I see the path I came down, and as I started towards it, the environment started feeling more off, like it didn't want me to leave, like it was angry that I was even trying to leave. The movement of the people behind the trees began to increase as if they were moving towards my exit to block me. I broke out running and managed to get out of the clearing, jumping over the fence line from before, noticing how dark it seemed now, and rushing up inside the house where I was caught by my grandpa and grilled for answers as to where I had been, who the woman my cousin saw leading me off was, why I didn't stop and help my cousin, and what actually happened in the 4 hours I was gone. However, when I told them that it felt more like moments, my grandfather looked more concerned than anyone else. By the time we went back to my grandparents' home for my birthday party, he'd already built up a new fence and fixed the fallen one down by the creek. He had even planted some herbs and stuff that quickly took over the fence line, sealing it off with vines and bushes. I've been back to their place once in the last few years. The new owners tore the fence and the greenery out, opening up the creek again. As I went to drive off, I looked down the creek, seeing a little girl coming back up to the property, and a strange woman in a hood standing just beyond where the fence used to be, smiling at me. Okay, guys, that was pretty creepy. I don't know about you, but that gave me some chills. Though all those missing 411 stories that you hear about children going missing, and sometimes they come back and sometimes they don't, that is just pretty scary. Oof, that's all I can say. Thank you all so much for watching. I do appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you'll subscribe and tune in for my next video. If you have any scary stories you would like to submit, either from Reddit or your own stories, please leave them in the comments below. I would love to hear it. Um, and I just thank you so much, and take care. See you guys next time.